Here we have the screencast of your essay presentation, kind of guide you through how to create your essay on the Great Depression. And I'll kind of go through each slide and give you a little bit of information that might help you out. As I go to the first slide here, you'll see that it's about the thesis statement. It's a lot like the 9/11 project, and it explains what a thesis statement is. It also tells you to color code it. The cause part of your thesis should be orange, the effects part of your thesis should be blue, and the solution part should be pink. And there is a student example down at the bottom here that you can look at that talks about how a lack of federal money caused schools to close. And then the states had to compensate by providing more money towards public education. As we go to the second slide here, what you'll see, let me just back it up. What you'll see is kind of a graphic that shows you how to write an introduction. You start with a broad opening statement. Then you have sentences that narrow to the theme, and then the thesis is the last sentence at the end of your introduction. So the thesis example you saw at the last slide, that should be what goes at the end of your introduction, that last sentence. And we're looking at an introduction that's about 6 sentences. And here again, this slide explains the different parts, what the first sentence should be, what the sentence after should be, and then what your thesis statement should be and where it should be. As I move forward, you'll see throughout this presentation there are examples. This is a student example of an introduction, and it starts with a broad statement. Education is something that is very important to children of every generation. Then the underlined sentences are the points that get more and more specific until we get to the thesis statement, which is at the bottom where it says, during the Great Depression, lack of money caused schools to close, which left students across the country without an education. Again, that's the effect. And caused the government to react by requiring more state funding of schools. That is the solution, like what they did to overcome that problem. So all parts are in the thesis. As I go to the next slide here, we're talking about topic sentences. Topic sentences are also main points. A main point is the first sentence in each body paragraph. It tells the reader what your paragraph is going to be about. Refer back to your worksheet on writing your thesis and topic sentences for more on this idea. But we know at this point that body paragraph 1 is going to be about the cause of the problem you've selected. And so your main point should be about that cause. Body paragraph 2 is about the effects. So we know the main point of body paragraph 2 should be about the effects. And body paragraph 3 is about the solution. So our main point, or first sentence of body paragraph 3, should be about the solution to the particular problem that you are studying. In each body paragraph, you need examples or evidence. Each body paragraph is going to need 2 pieces of evidence that support that topic sentence or main point. Evidence should be cited within the text, and we'll show you how to do this on a later slide. And each piece of evidence needs a lead-in phrase or sentence to give some explanation of where the quote is coming from or put it in context. And you'll see examples of that later. All pieces of evidence should be followed by an explanation or link in your own words. And again, you're going to see examples of this on later slides. What should a body paragraph contain from start to finish? A topic sentence in green. 2 pieces of evidence in purple with lead-in phrases and proper in-text citation, which we will show you. Follow each piece of evidence with an explanation or a link in your own words that should be yellow. And the last sentence should be a concluding statement in green. Should tie the body paragraph up and help transition to the next paragraph. Here's a body paragraph example. You can see the main point or topic sentence, little spelling error up there, but here's our topic sentence in green. You can see the evidence in purple. The lead-in phrase is this first phrase right here. Because of school expansions in the early 1920s, comma, many school districts were burdened. There's your evidence. Your citation in quotation marks and in parentheses is the Depression in education. And then I explain it in yellow. That's my first link. The other purple block here, again, is about the lead-in, and again, the evidence, and then my citation in parentheses. Then I have another explanation. And remember, I tie it together and transition with my concluding statement. The lack of money was already hitting schools hard due to the debts many school districts were in, and schools were stripped of years of growth. This is leading me to my effects paragraph. As I go to the next one here, in-text citations for evidence. Here's a lead-in phrase. Notice it's not in quotation marks. It is something I create. Then here's my evidence in quotation marks. This is what I took directly from the source, word for word. Notice there's no period here. I have parentheses with my source in them, and my source is the article title, and it's in quotation marks, and my period goes at the end. You can kind of see another example down here. Here again, let me back up just for a sec. Here again is a lead-in phrase. Not only were industrial workers affected, farmers suffered their own crisis, that. And then we have a quotation mark here with our evidence, another quotation, no period, and then short history being the source. Moving forward, here's an example of a conclusion paragraph. So after you've done the 3 body paragraphs with your evidence and your links and all the parts, you have to write a conclusion. And the conclusion starts with a restatement of thesis, taking your thesis statement and rewording it slightly. Then you revisit your 3 main points, which are reworded statements that come from your main point. So it's just like revisiting the main ideas. If you think you're repeating yourself, you're probably doing it right. And then my last sentence is another broad statement. Education is important to everyone, and then an entire generation was left without one. That's a broad statement to connect back to my original main attention grabber at the beginning of the essay. We also have another explanation here of color coding your essay. It needs to be color coded in this way. Intro sentence green, lead-in phrase, sentence and evidence, purple, explanation yellow. It's kind of hiding behind the toolbar here, but also your concluding statement in green as you saw. Moving on to the next one. I also have linked here a student essay example. If you were to click on here, you would see an essay all put together by a student. I've taken the examples from that essay, most of them, to create this presentation. But if you just want to see what it looks like with a heading, with the works cited, that is right there. If I go to the last slide here, some tips. No first person spoken language. No I, you, we. Can't do that. Be aware of punctuation, spelling, and grammar. Use Google Read and Write. It has a grammar check. Use your outline that we're working on in class. All that you need is there. If you have it, you should be good. Essay should be double spaced and 12-point font. All the color coding from your outline should stay in the rough and final draft, or the rough and final draft. And I'll show you the example here. The student one that I have linked has all of these things. So if you're someone who just needs to see it, well, I'll show it to right here. You need a topic heading with your name, my name as the teacher instructor, the hour that you're in, and then the date that you're submitting it. You need a title. Notice nothing fancy. You can see the introduction here. I've got the thesis statement underlined. You can see a body paragraph coming up next. Topic, sentence, or main point in green. You can see my purple evidence. You can see my yellow explanation. More purple evidence, more yellow explanation. And all the way through it follows this format. Body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and body paragraph 3. And as you get down near the end, you can see my conclusion. I've underlined the restatement of thesis. I've got the main points restated. And then at the end, I used EasyBib to create a works cited page to list the sources that I actually used. That's the end of this presentation. Hopefully it helps you with your essay. See your instructor or look through the presentation in Canvas anytime you need for more information. Thank you.